Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cuz You Don't Know Football. Where you can see today, I'm at an undisclosed location where y'all not gonna know, and I didn't even tell Timmy, and he can't even know. That's why it's just me. So you got me all day on vacation, and I'm smiling like this. But that should not get in the way of what is going to be an exciting episode because we got a lot to talk about. The question is NFL playoffs. What's up? This is my favorite time of the year. The question is, what's up? What's about to happen? Who's doing what? You know, everybody's got questions, and hopefully we can start to give you some answers. So this week we're going to talk about this week's games, but I want to start with the Titans. Titans lost again to this time to Dallas. They lost 27-13. And the Titans are sliding. You know, I think in the middle of the season, we all looked at the AFC South as a division that was pretty wide open, pretty easy to win. Like the Titans were just going to coast to the division title. Unfortunately, this is not looking good for them. The only good thing about this is it sets up next week in week 18 the Titans against the Jaguars for the division, and that is something I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see that game. So we'll talk more about them, but I mean, the Titans are sliding a little bit here, people. Okay, let's move on to another game, a somewhat eliminated or eliminator game. The Patriots are in Miami. I think this game is going to be. I mean, it has a lot of implications. You know what I mean? This is why I actually love division games so much because there's like this game is going to be great for two reasons. One, they're both going for a playoff spot. Two, they know each other so well. And three, so there's three reasons actually. There's some bragging rights here because it's inter divisional. I think not I think, but the Dolphins actually beat the Patriots earlier in the year, and that's basically the scariest thing that I'm thinking about for the Dolphins because it's really hard to beat a team twice in the same season. In this instant, I actually think that that's going to happen, though. I do think the Dolphins they have to sweep the Patriots because if they don't, then they set up next week to have to play the Jets for the division. I mean, not for the division, but for a playoff spot. And I think that you got to take this one. You know, I think if you don't take this one, you're putting things in other people's hands, and that's never a good outcome, in my opinion. Also, this week, who would have thought this would have been a crazy? This would have been a game for this late in the season. The Bucks are playing the Panthers. Now, the winner of this game seems to have a track straight to winning the division. And Carolina's coming into this game with some momentum. And if you remember last week when they played Detroit, they ran all over Detroit. They had two running backs that ran for over 100 yards. You know, you just don't see that every day. So I think that this game is going to be, it's going to be crazy. But I just wanted to see if what happened when they played before. Because like I said, I always look at division games. I always look at division games and see, you know, who won the first one, and then who's going to win the second one. You know, things of that nature. Oh, sorry guys, this is a real big buzzkill. It's not okay, there we go. There we go. When they played earlier in the season, the Panthers won. Okay. They won 21-3. So for that alone, do I think that the Panthers are going to go in and sweep Tampa Bay this year? No, I do not. So that actually makes it a lot easier to guess or predict that game. So I'm picking the Bucks to win this game as well. Okay. So moving on. moving on to the Seahawks Jets. Now, this is an eliminator game for either one of these teams. They lose any one of these two teams, the Jets or the Seahawks lose again this season, they are done. Okay, they will be officially eliminated. But I think the Jets coming in, not having the quarterback that they not having the quarterback that they want. 2 years ago, I'm going to say this. 2 years ago, when they picked Zach Wilson, I looked at it. I said, I don't think he's the guy. Actually, when you look at past drafts or any drafts, anytime there's been two quarterbacks go 1-2, usually that every time that's happened, pretty much that second quarterback's been bad. I don't know why that is, but I never thought that Zach Wilson was going to be the answer in this spot. I don't think he's bad per se, but I just think he's a person that later on in his career, I think he could have a Geno Smith type, season where he bounces back. I mean, now he's good, but right now they don't have a quarterback, and for that I'm going with the Seahawks to win that game. Okay. Also keeping with it, the Packers are in the Vikings. Y'all, the Packers got back in the playoff race, and they're not playing. No, the Packers are not playing. Aaron Rodgers is back, man. Like, listen, the Packers look good. Okay, the Packers look good. And I think it was either week 1 or 2 when they played. I know Minnesota won that game, and it was like the Packers were still figuring things out. I don't think this is the same Packers team that they played then. And actually, I think the Packers are going to win this game, man. I think the Packers are going to win this game. I think I can't speak for everybody. I think we are still trying to figure out who Minnesota is. I think they're a team that they can beat anybody, but I also think they're a team they can lose to anybody. I don't think they have I think they will have a quarterback disadvantage when they play anybody in the playoffs. I'm talking about, but that team is strong too. I mean, and it really depends on Kirk Cousins' play to see how far they can go. But I don't think we know exactly who they are. We know they got the Jets though, but this week, yeah, I'm going with the Packers on this one. And finally, game of the week this week, Bengals Bills. This game. Sometimes you get games and you see I'm going over my words. I'm salivating. I'm so excited about this game. I really don't know who's going to win this game. This game is hard to predict. It's definitely in Buffalo. It's in Buffalo. Now here's all right. So if Buffalo wins this game, then they will have won, I think, like 5 or 6 straight games. They will have solidified the number 1 seed, and they need that more than anybody else. So I do think Buffalo needs this game more. However, if Cincinnati wins this game, they will have beaten every team that they beat in the playoffs last year and ran it back and beat all of them. To say that, I think that's rare territory. We're here territory. We're the ones. You start talking about the champions, when you start talking like that. I'm really intrigued to see if they're that, because I didn't think that they were going to beat the Titans and the Chiefs, because they beat them both in the playoffs last year again this year. So I was worried about that, but they came back and been okay being the hunted. They're I don't think that they're coming in uncomfortable. So I actually do think I think Buffalo will win this game. I don't think Buffalo necessarily is the better team, but I think Buffalo will hold court this week. But I don't think they're going to want to see them in the playoffs. But I think they might get them this week being at home. They got to lock up the first seed. They've had an up and down season, and even when they've been up and down, they've still been winning. So there's a lot of controversy here. So so there's that. Okay, those are the games for this week. And so now I'm gonna give y'all some spread picks. I'm gonna give y'all my spread picks. I'm giving y'all 2 spread picks this week. All right, my first spread pick. Y'all gonna be a little mad at me. You're gonna be a little disappointed in me, but I'm hedging my bet. The Green Bay Packers are favored by negative 3.5 points. I'm actually going to pick Minnesota. I think this is a tight game. I don't think that they win by more than a field goal, when they win. So I think betting Minnesota this week will be a pretty safe pick. Okay. And then I want to pick a big one. I want to be bold. You know what I'm saying? Let's get bold. Who's playing? Somebody good is playing somebody bad. Let's do this. Let's do this. No, let's look at this one. I want to look at the Jets Seahawks. Jets Seahawks. I think let's look at that spread. The Jets are favored by 1.5. Oh no, I'm doubling down on Seattle. I don't see how if Seattle loses this game and they play the team with no quarterback, hey, you deserve to go home. I'm doubling down on that one. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? Let's be fair. I'm gonna give you 3. And let's be a little biased with this one. The Giants are favored by 5.5 against my Colts. Yeah, they're still my Colts. They on punishment right now, but they're still my Colts. I actually think it'll be a closer game than that. I think I'm going to pick my Colts plus 5.5 to plus 5.5. That's what I'm picking. I know y'all like you're crazy. That's okay. You can feel however you want to feel. So I went Seattle minus 1.5. I went Vikings plus 3.5, and I'm going Colts plus 5.5. So I got some underdogs in there. So this all sets up a lot for next week. So right now, I just want to run down the playoffs. If the playoffs started today, we'd have Buffalo number 1. We'd have the Chiefs number 2. We'd have the Bengals number 3. We'd have the Jaguars. It's funny. I actually laughed at the Jaguars and the fact that we picked them, but now they're about to win the division anyway. Man, so we'd have the Jags in the 4 spot. We have Ravens in the 5 spot. The Chargers. So I'm ready to say I was wrong about the Chargers. Chargers are going to be in there. And they're a scary team. They're a scary team. I'm not going to lie to you. We'll see what happens with them, though. I'm not. We'll see. So they would be in the 6th spot, and then we'd have the Dolphins in the 7th spot. And like I said, the winner, if the only way I'm ready for this week to say that the Patriots will be done, but let's watch the game, and I would be shocked to see otherwise. And so that was the AFC. In NFC, we still got the Eagles at 13-2 in the number 1 seed, but we got to watch that because Jalen Hurts is actually hurt, and if they dropped the last 2 games, they could absolutely drop the number 1 seed. We got the Vikings at 12-3. So because the Eagles beat the Vikings, though, the Eagles would have to lose 2 games, and the Vikings would have to have a better record. They can't be tied. Like they would have to be 1 game better. So that would have to happen. We got the 49ers in the 3 seed, and the Niners. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never seen a 3rd string quarterback. Now, we were talking about, if you remember 2017 when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that was their backup. That was Nick Foles was the backup. And I thought that was crazy because that really only happened like one other time. So for the 49ers to look like this, and they've lost not just their 1st string quarterback, not only their backup quarterback, they're only a 3rd string quarterback. So I don't know what to think about them because they're being dominant right now and they're doing all that. So I got to keep an eye on this, man. I got to see this Purdy guy, man. This Purdy guy. I'm not calling him pretty. His name is Purdy. So then we got the Cowboys. They would be in the 5th seed. Oh, excuse me. They wrote it weirdly. Sorry. The Bucks will be the 4 seed right now, but they play, like I said, they play Carolina this week. So they better lock it up while they can. Then the Cowboys, of course, will be in the 5th seed. Um, the Giants will be the 6th seed. Now I do think they're going to lock up that 6th seed this week when they do beat my Colts. I don't think it's going to be about 5.5. But yes, they would be the 6th seed. And right now, the Commanders would be the 7th seed. But like the good thing about the NFC playoffs is as you go down the list, it gets pretty interesting. Like you got the Seahawks, the Lions, the Packers all right there. And then if Carolina beats Tampa Bay, they're going to be right there too. So I don't think there's a lot to be determined in these last 2 weeks for the NFC. There's more at stake, I think, and I'm very excited about that. So, guys, that's going to wrap up this week of the show. Next week we will be back. Timmy will be back. Everything that you love about the show will be back. Everything's going to be great. And we're going to be exactly what you know and love. So for now, I just want to say thank you guys. We love you guys. Please follow, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. And we just want to tell you once again, because you don't know football. I'm your boy Tariq. Y'all have a blessed day.